Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. My fellow XRP YouTuber, the Bearable Bull, says, and I quote, XRP feels close to erupting and the stage is being set, end quote. And there's actually some additional contents, which I'll show you at the early part of the video. But I just gotta tell you, like, doesn't it feel that way? The Bearable Bull is obviously not the only one that is thinking this. We are closer than ever before to XRP finally hitting a new all-time high. It's been almost 6 years since the previous all-time high, putting up with all the nonsense from the SEC for over a 2.5 period. XRP finally has legal clarity. We see adoption rising, certainly for XRP, but also, thankfully, crypto at large, with Bitcoin leading the way because it's the largest in terms of market cap. You've got BlackRock coming in. And I want to talk about that, too, by the way, because BlackRock, there's a lot of news, especially yesterday, and I covered a lot of that. And one of the concepts that came up today during conversation on social media was this idea that, you know, and I think we mostly agree, like, there's going to be a spot Bitcoin ETF. It's kind of just a question of when. I think pretty much everybody's thinking that, right? But what happens after that? What's BlackRock going to do next? Because they're not just talking about Bitcoin, they're talking about crypto in general. Could there be, even if not an XRP specific ETF at this point in time, what about a crypto ETF with a bunch of different coins? There's also this article from the Crypto Basic. XRP maintains path to $5.85 as analyst predicts 1,094% upsurge to ultimate fib target. So I'll share with you who they're talking about there. It's a chart analyst who has become quite popular, especially in recent times. And then there was also this article from the Daily Hodl. Majority of altcoins will never see new all-time highs again amid serious declines. So let's talk about that too. That'll be the last thing I cover in this video. But I'll just tell you here at the outset, I'm not concerned about whether or not XRP is going to hit an all-time high. Maybe the thought here is right, and most coins never do. That actually could be correct, and I'll share with you my thoughts on this. But XRP, no, not worried in the least. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so here's the post from the Bearable Bull. And I think his sentiment, it's spot on. It resonates with everybody, I think, for a good reason. Is there anybody listening that doesn't share this general thought, this general sentiment? It's just, to me, it seems like an inevitability because crypto can't stay in this range exactly where it is forever. It's clearly not going to zero. Bitcoin's going to lead the way. And good for everybody that holds Bitcoin. I hold Bitcoin. I'm sure a lot of you do too. I'm just not that excited about it. But then altcoins follow. And XRP, following Bitcoin, since there's less money, is going to have a crazy multiplier effect. And that is when we finally get to see faces melt. I can't wait to see that. But here's what the Bearable Bull wrote. It's on your screen right here. XRP feels close to erupting and the stage is being set. World war is likely, and Larry Fink tells us that war times are bullish for crypto. Ripple IPO feels close. XRP and Roblox is massive. Things feel so bullish for XRP, something will give soon. Spot on with only one minor correction, which is not the Bearable Bull's fault, but that comment where he said, he was citing the news about Roblox. If you're not aware of what that is, I'm not getting into it in this video, but I did cover it in my very last video, actually. But there was fake news about XRP being possible to be used in the video game Roblox, and that was because like there was an actual source that put up false information. So I don't blame anybody that retweeted that or it's called reposting now, whatever. I don't blame any crypto media outlets actually. For covering it, because there's just a source that had false information, and then people covered what the source said, and so it's not like it's just made up news. It's just it was incorrect, it was false. So blame the source. But I don't want to go into it any further than that. But either way, the point is the sentiment is correct, and it's an inevitability as far as I see it, virtual anyway, that eventually XRP will finally hit a new all-time high. Damn it! And it's been long enough, but I think it would have if not for the SEC, obviously. And so let's put things in perspective here, because it's been fantastic. Seeing traditional finance jump in finally, and of course they're late to the party, and it's not terribly surprising because it was never a guarantee at the inception of crypto that it was actually still going to be here 14 years later, but it is, and it's much more massive compared to then. But, with it being a question mark, is this some sort of magic internet money that's a fad and then it goes away, or is it going to stay? Well, now it's abundantly clear it's not going away. And now that it's a certainty, now you have all the major firms, finance firms the world over jumping in. But that's the cool part about this. We got to be here first before almost all of the firms on the entire damn planet. And so this was part of the news for yesterday, just to set the table here. This is an article titled BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says Bitcoin and crypto will play a role in investors' flight to equality. And so here's a quote from Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, the world's largest investment firm on the entire planet with about $10 trillion in assets under management. He said, quote, "I think it's just an example of the pent-up interest in crypto. We are hearing from clients around the world about the need for crypto. I think some of this rally is way beyond the rumor. I think the rally on Monday is about a flight to quality with all the issues around the Israeli war now, global terrorism, and I think there are more people running into a flight to quality, whether that is in treasuries, gold, or crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality," end quote. And so, look, folks, it's an inevitability. And then he's going to put, once this gets approved, he's going to put his team to work to sell this product to everyone under the sun. And this is a product that's, I don't know about you, but I hold Bitcoin, so that's great. But it's going to get more people into crypto in general. He's selling the product that we hold first. That is absolutely incredible. And there will be additional spot Bitcoin ETFs approved from other firms also. And they're all going to be paying their staff. All these investment advisors are going to be pushing all of this stuff out to their clients. It's going to go ballistic, ultimately. And despite this, though, these freaking Bitcoin maxis, man. Despite this being the case, despite the fact that Larry Fink is explicitly talking about crypto in specific comments, and I just shared with you a direct quote there where he's talking about crypto. When he says crypto on national television, the Bitcoin maximalists want to pretend that he's actually just talking about Bitcoin, not broadly crypto. It's just Bitcoin. That's not, when he says crypto, he means crypto. And so there's this video clip I'm not going to play it, but there's this video clip, it dates back to just like 5 days ago. I believe it was October 13th on CNBC. And Larry Fink was talking about crypto. And then you have this Bitcoin archive account on X with 1.2 million followers sharing this video clip where where Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, is talking about crypto. And Bitcoin archive says, quote, "When BlackRock CEO says crypto, he really means Bitcoin." And so I see that, I'm just freaking rolling my eyes. And so I responded to him and I just wrote, "No, he means crypto, like he said." And folks, he does literally mean crypto. And so to drive the point home further, there's a post from Altcoin Daily, because you might be wondering, maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. Not too much though, because as far as I'm concerned, that spot Bitcoin ETF is coming, so I don't feel bad about this at all. But the Altcoin Daily account on X with 1.4 million followers wrote, "Larry Fink will obviously want to launch a crypto ETF of some kind after BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF. Few understand this." And so folks, they're starting with Bitcoin, but that's not surprising. That's the if it were a brand, like that's the brand that's most well known. Out of all the cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin is the one that is the household name at this point. It's not surprising at all that they're starting with that. But of course, they recognize there's opportunity in crypto in general. He's not only talking about Bitcoin, and he literally is using the word crypto and cryptocurrencies. So duh. So once this happens, just don't be surprised if after this you see an ETF product that includes multiple coins. Don't be surprised in the least. And there's certainly a possibility that XRP could be part of it. It's a large cap coin. XRP is one of 3 coins in existence out of over 20,000 coins that has always been in the top 10 cryptos by market cap for its entire existence. That is a rare club of 3. That's astonishing. So yes, XRP is going to absolutely continue to be noticed by the big boys. Now, attorney John Deaton reposted this and said, "First ones to comment on this. After establishing a Bitcoin spot ETF, I think BlackRock will absolutely do a separate digital asset ETF." Yep. And I shared that same sentiment. I think that's spot on. So then the question is, what coins are going to be included? well, hopefully XRP. We'll see what the process is for this, but I have the suspicion that once the floodgates are open, you have the first cryptocurrency ETF get approved by the SEC, which will be Bitcoin. It's going to be that much easier to get ETFs for other coins approved. That's my strong suspicion here. And then there was this headline from the Crypto Basic. XRP maintains path to $5.85 as analyst predicts 1,094% upsurge to ultimate fib target. Now, folks, you know me. I try to not read technical analysis. Not that I don't ever delve into it a little bit just to cover what analysts are doing, because I'm not a chart analyst. But I try not to, and so here's the same thing. If you want to pause and read the full outlook from this particular analyst, go ahead and do it. I'm just putting on the screen so that you have the option if you want to. I'm just mentioning this for just a simple reason of just, it's basically for posterity, right? So this perspective came from a Dark Defender who has 94,900 followers, so been growing in followers quite substantially, quite quickly. And so good on him. That's fantastic. He regularly shares his perspective in terms of what XRP is going to do price-wise. And he's expecting to... Now, to be fair, like, if we're in XRP, we all assume, like, what's most probable is that XRP will hit a new all-time high and ultimately go running, but he's adding specifics to this, which takes guts, frankly. So I just thought I'd highlight this because it'll be interesting to see who is most accurate once we have the benefit of hindsight after the next market cycle happens. So if you're talking about $5.85 and beyond, as is outlined here in this particular technical analysis, that's fantastic. So basically just wanted to point it out so that it's on record and just to say we'll track the accuracy over time from... I do that with all sorts of chart analysts. This is not unique, of course. Just want to track accuracy and see what happens over time. But, for the rest of us who are not chart analysts, still, like, I don't think you even have to be a chart analyst to understand the potential by holding XRP, right? There's almost no money in it. There's actual utility. And even if you're not worried about, even if you don't care about that as much, just the fact that XRP is a large cap coin and moves in tandem with Bitcoin, if you think the asset class is going to get bigger, there's that as a reason too. And then there's this from the Daily Huddle. Benjamin Cowan warns majority of altcoins will never see new all-time highs again amid serious declines. All right, so folks, I jumped into crypto late 2017, as most of you know by now. And I remember throughout the bear market of 2018, as we were approaching the bottom of the market, which happened at the end of 2018 for Bitcoin anyway, all sorts of people are saying, good, this is what we needed. We need to flush out the system, get rid of all these coins that don't deserve to be here. They shouldn't be here. They don't do anything. Good that we're flushing out the system. Folks, that was 5 years ago when people were saying that. And at the same time people were saying that, I was publicly stating why. And I remember saying this even in 2019 on my YouTube channel because the conversation on this continued. And I was saying, okay, a lot of people are making this point. This is a flushing out of the system and everything's going to zero. I'm like, what makes you think it's going to zero? Because what I saw was a lot of coins down over 90% or over 95% down or about 99% down, depending on what coins you're talking about, but not going to zero. They're not dying. So I just thought to myself, they're following Bitcoin directionally. What makes you think that they're going to cease to exist just because Bitcoin... the Bitcoin bubble inflated and popped and everything went down? What makes you think that they all cease to exist? Because I said at the time publicly, I'm not convinced of that. Where's the evidence of this? And what did we end up seeing? We saw that, broadly speaking, they didn't die. In fact, we saw way, way, way more coins be created. At the time that I was in crypto in late 2017, I can't remember exactly how many coins there were, but there might have been a little less than 2,000. And now we have over 20,000 over half a decade later. So... we have more coins, they're not only are they not going to, we have more of them, right? And so then there's a different question though. Okay, so if they're still here, that's one thing, because I still buy into the idea that they got to ultimately go to zero at some point, right? It's just that we're in this immature market still. I know it's 14 years old, but it seems like as far as I'm concerned, it's basically in its nascency. Because if you're having this type of behavior, people don't know what in the ever-loving hell they're doing with their own damn money, right? So given that's the case though, and they're not going to zero right now anyway, and we've been through a whole nother market cycle, seen the bottom of the bear market last November, still things didn't go to zero, they're still here. A reasonable question to ask is, okay, so they're not going to zero, at least not now. Doesn't mean that they will. I still think they will actually at some point go to zero. They're not right now though, but will they hit a new all-time high? I think the answer is, and I think this is the reason I wanted to cover this, because this is a very well-known individual, Benjamin Cowan. He's a chart guy, 787,000 subscribers on YouTube, so pretty darn well known. And I think his perspective pretty well says it, even though we don't know exactly how this is going to pan out. It's just, I think there will be, to steal a phrase from Larry Fink, a flight to quality. And so ultimately, if you're talking in a mature asset class, it's coins like XRP that actually do something that have utility that will persist. The rest of the coins, they're going to go the way of the dodo, my favorite extinct avian creature. And again, I do think that's going to be just about all of them. I don't know exactly what the percentage will be, but probably well over 99% of them. That would be my guess. And to be clear, when I say this, I'm not talking about tokenized assets like stocks. I'm talking about individual blockchains, or, I mean, it doesn't even have to be blockchain. Like, for instance, HBAR uses Hashgraph, which isn't blockchain technology, but you get what I'm saying. Just cryptocurrencies at large, right? But here's what Benjamin Cowan had to say. Because even though the entire asset class is moving in tandem directionally, so there is that correlation, it doesn't mean that they're all going to hit an all-time high. But with XRP, I'm not the least bit concerned. I mean, there's a reason it's always been the top 10 cryptos by market cap. Like, as far as I'm concerned, it's just a virtual inevitability at this point. Unless I'm wrong and it goes to zero, which is possible. I could be wrong and XRP goes to zero, but I just don't think that's the most probable outcome. But here's a quote from Benjamin Cowan. I think that as a whole, the altcoin market will recover. The issue is not will the altcoin market recover. In my mind, it's will the altcoins that people are dollar cost averaging, will those recover? And there might be 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 50 or 1 out of 100 that go on to put in new all-time highs, but a lot of them can just go away, end quote. Okay, so that's the sentiment that I think makes sense. And so if you look back to the last market cycle, you know, we got out of the bear market, you know, I remember being there in 2018 and 2019, down in the doldrums. Everybody thought, oh, it's never going to get better. What if Bitcoin goes to zero, all this crap? It's just going to go down further. But then we know we eventually hit euphoria again shortly after that. 2020 was better, and then in 2021, whew, what a year, right? What a time to be in crypto, right? But it's the case that even though those coins didn't go to zero, broadly speaking, almost none of them did, not so many of them actually put in new all-time highs. Now, for XRP, that's the only large cap coin that didn't hit a new all-time high, but there's a good reason the SEC was attacking it. Otherwise, I firmly believe that it would have. But there are plenty of coins that didn't. And now as the asset class is, even if just a little bit, it is more mature. We're talking about a whole nother market cycle here. I would think even fewer altcoins that don't do anything, even fewer of them are going to hit a new all-time high. So they'll directionally do the same thing that the asset class is doing. So they'll probably, my guess is they'd still go up to some degree. But it doesn't mean they're going to go on crazy run. So it won't be like 2017 ever again, probably. Because 2017 was just ballistic. Everything hit a new all-time high. It was impossible to not pick a winner. You could just buy anything. If you bought something at the beginning of 2017, at some point that year, it was going to be worth a fortune. Or maybe early 2018, but it was going to be worth an absolute fortune. And then it cratered back down to almost nothing. But I'm just saying, there was a time, and I was there for it, you couldn't pick something that was, like, in fact, if you could pick something that wasn't going to win, like, you had some sort of special talent probably, because everything was going, right? So we don't have to worry about XRP, I don't believe. But, you know, I think that it's just the case that some people that have money invested in these things, it's like it's so small, they're not very liquid, and people just don't want to let go. And that's why I think for a lot of people here, it's just for a lot of these coins rather, it's going to take a long time for them to actually go to zero and for the technology to be taken off of the internet, basically. Now, I still think we probably get there because you don't need over 20,000, and people will over time just continue to have, they're just going to lose whatever conviction they have, and for good reason in these cases. And they're just going to try and sell it, and that'll drive the price down further, and then, you know, lights off, basically. But that's why, for me, my whole investment thesis is that utility matters and will win the day, and that's why I've been thrilled to be in XRP specifically. Because that way, you know, I don't have to worry about the day-to-day jostulations of the market. If my thesis is correct and utility matters and will ultimately win the day, just holding XRP however long it takes, since I don't know how long it will take, it just happens. I wake up one day and bam. And, you know, I still think I'm not going to have to wait for the utility run, to be frank with you. I still think that since the entire asset class moves in tandem, that's just proof that it's still, the asset class is still in its nascency. And so I just have to wait for a bigger pie, and XRP is part of that. So it's not that a lot of people try to overcomplicate things. I think it's more simple than that. I really do. You guys tell me what you think, though. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.